What's up, guys? Greetings from Istanbul, Turkey. So I've been here for probably about 10 days, playing tourist and visiting some family because I'm half Turkish, and I wanted to tell you guys about my experiences here as a gay person and what my observations are. So Turkey is one of these kind of murky countries where you'd be pleasantly surprised by the acceptance and tolerance of gay people, but then in other ways it is still very conservative. And the religion here does still play quite a significant role in the structure of the culture here. So just to go into the history a little bit, Turkey was founded as a secular republic like 100 years ago. So out of the Middle East, out of this part of the world, it's always actually been one of the more accepting, one of the more progressive and liberal nations. Because there was a clear separation between church and state. Even though most people in this country are Muslim, you see mosques everywhere, you hear the call to prayer 5 times a day, that is something that has always been respected here, that there should be legally a separation. However, in the past, over at least a decade, less than 20 years, but more than 10 years, there's been this leader, Erdogan, and he is very religious and conservative, and by coming into power, he has undone a lot of things, and the nation here has become more conservative, more religious. There have been a lot of steps backwards. So to give you an example, Turkey is one of these places where they will plan gay pride, they will, promote it and try to run it. So they at least get that far. It's not a country where it's unspoken to be gay, right? But then it'll get shut down by the government. It's that kind of country where it's murky. There is acceptance, kind of, sometimes. For example, I was walking the other day and walked by a gay bar. I saw a rainbow flag, so it's really cool to see that. But it's not a place where you're gonna see, I would be shocked to see 2 men holding hands here on the street. It's just not really done. So again, this is a country where then people flock to the apps. Thankfully, we have this technology, and that's what people do. Going back to the bars for a second, I ended up not going to any gay bars here. Unfortunately, I really wanted to check them out and see what they were like, but I've been sick basically the entire time that I've been here, and so the last thing I'd wanted to do is stay out at night and go out. But I did check out reviews online, and on Google Maps, I kind of took a look. And unsurprisingly, all the gay bars and clubs are in one region, which is kind of like where all the nightlife is in general. The reviews were not good, and there weren't many at all. And a lot of them just kept saying the same thing, that it's just kind of dead, it's overpriced. So again, I think maybe this is just a place where people don't necessarily feel comfortable going to gay bars or clubs. Or it could also be like Athens and like a lot of other places I visited that I've made videos about, where people are in mixed crowds and they don't feel the need to go to a gay bar. They just go to a bar, period. And I think when you're a local, you know where to go, you know who to hang out with and that kind of thing. But obviously for me as a visitor, I ended up flocking to the apps. So interestingly, Grindr is blocked here. And it's not just certain gay platforms. Wikipedia is blocked here. A lot of random things are blocked here because, as I said, the government is very intimidated by things that they deem controversial or anti the government here. Many countries in the Middle East have Grindr banned. Basically what happens is you can still log into the app, but everything is blank. All the profiles are empty. You can't really, I think you can switch tabs, but again, you don't see your messages really. Everything's just kind of dead. What people here do to circumvent this is they use a VPN. This is what people use anytime they don't want people watching them and what they're browsing. It's kind of like going incognito mode on your browser, except it's the entire internet functions that way. The main reason people use it is because they have unrestricted access to the internet. So if they want to use Grindr, they can use Grindr. If they want to look at porn, they can look at, if they want to use Wikipedia, they can use Wikipedia. I thought about downloading a VPN just to see what an app like Grindr is like, and just so I could have access to everything that I want to have access to. But honestly, I was like, I don't have the patience for this. I'm spending most of my time out and about anyway. I don't want to be like a little computer whiz on my downtime. So I thought, well, Tinder works. I've been using Tinder. So I thought maybe the smaller gay apps are unrestricted, and I ended up being right. So I downloaded Hornet and Scruff. And Hornet maybe sounds a little random to you guys, but I had read before coming here that a lot of Turkish people use Hornet because of the restrictions with an app like Grindr. So Hornet and Scruff, and therefore I assume all other gay apps like, you know, Chappy and Jack and all those apps, they work fine, which is so funny to me. It's the hypocrisy of all this stuff, right? That people use a VPN to get around it. People use different apps instead. Like, people will get what they want, right? So it's just funny to me that governments will do these crackdowns, but they don't even do it efficiently or effectively, because I think it's more about just doing it for the sake of it. And I think it's really about like fulfilling this philosophy of don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. Like, they know there are gay people. They know that gay people are gonna keep being gay, but it's their way of saying like, well, we did what we could. We got rid of Grindr. So in terms of the aesthetics here, Turkey is a pretty blended place. I mean, it's by the Mediterranean Sea, and you know, all countries around the Mediterranean have a history of a lot of blending and, you know, a spectrum of phenotypes. But also, of course, there's a lot of history here. You know, the Ottoman Empire. Before that, Istanbul was once the capital of the Roman Empire. Then it was called Constantinople. Before that, it was the Byzantine Empire. So there's a lot of history here and a lot of cultures merging. And as a result, I mean, you see it in the people. Some people here look like me. I'm half Turkish. But most people look very ethnically ambiguous. You're not really sure where they're from, what their background is. You know, olive complexion, jet black hair, thick hair, dark eyes. And then you also have people who look like they could be Russian or some kind of Eastern European. You also have people here who look Asian, but not like Chinese. It's like they look mixed with Asian and something else. Very, very ethnically ambiguous. So it's an interesting place aesthetically. In terms of the men, I would say the vast majority of men here are one of two things. They're either incredibly thin, like scrawny. I guess they just have great metabolism, or maybe they just don't eat much, I don't know. Or they have a gut, like a noticeable gut, a beer belly. And I've noticed this a million times coming here, visiting Turkey, that the men here just aren't very image conscious. I think just as in general as a society, it's not a super image conscious society. But the men especially, I guess, just don't feel that they have a reason to look a certain way. And I think, you know, that goes back to, in traditional cultures, there's traditional gender roles, and men don't feel like they have to do certain things for women or whatever. So overall, I personally don't find the average Turkish man that attractive. Because you can kind of see that they usually don't take care of themselves. It's a huge smoking culture. Everybody smokes. A lot of people drink, and food is a big thing. The men here just look so much older than they really are. Like, I'm in my late 20s, and all the guys I see on the apps who are my age, not all of them, but a lot of them look like they're 35 or 40. So I don't know if that's the smoking. I don't know what it is. When it comes to the apps here, I've been disappointed by the lot on Tinder. But on the other apps, on Hornet and Scruff, I've actually had conversations going. I haven't met up with anybody here just because I've been sick the whole time. I've been like, I don't want to talk to anybody. But those have been my observations since I've come here. Stay tuned for more gay dating videos. I'm traveling for about another month, and I'm excited to tell you guys what I find in these other cities. Make sure to subscribe if you like my content. See you next time.